Hey, it's RC Thornton here. Today I want to talk to you about the 3 top reasons that business owners with back taxes have their back tax case assigned to a revenue officer. Now, what is a revenue officer? That's a local collections employee. The IRS has that person in your local hometown or your metropolitan area going after you specifically, showing up at your place of business, showing up at your home, reaching out to your customers, seizing and garnishing your assets, accounts receivable, putting liens on your property. So you have to understand this kind of treatment of a revenue officer is reserved for the most egregious cases of back taxes. The vast majority of taxpayers who have back taxes are actually assigned to their national collection center, and they have no one in particular on the case. So what are the top 3 reasons that I have seen people be assigned to revenue officers? Because we have a lot of clients that come to us with this problem. Number 1 is that their conduct is more egregious. So you're seeing people like that, they've been getting notices for a long time, they're not responding, they're just kind of blowing it off. You know, at some point, especially if you have a really large issue, the IRS is going to want to enforce on that at a higher level. And so if you've been kind of blowing this off for a while, you need to understand you're putting yourself in the crosshairs. Number 2 is if you haven't filed in a really long time or you owe a really large balance. So, if you haven't filed for multiple years, if you owe 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, the more you owe, the deeper the problem, the more they're going to actually want to be proactive about collecting that amount for you. And most business owners I talk to fit in that category. They haven't filed in a really long time and/or haven't paid a really big balance in a really long time. The number 3 thing is that their conduct doesn't really line up with the reality of their actual life situation. So what do I mean by that? Most business owner clients I deal with are making at least decent money, but they're not filing and they're not paying their taxes. So obviously, if you're not filing and paying your taxes, but you're making a lot of money, that's a real dissonance, right? That's a real gap between what you're supposed to be doing and what you actually are doing. And so when that gap is large, the more they're going to want to enforce, right? And so that's the people that get in really big trouble, is they're making a lot of money and they're not filing and paying. And unfortunately, that's a lot of business owners. So if you're in that situation, I highly recommend you take action to avoid getting assigned to a revenue officer. Or if you are there, you really need to know how to play the game so you can stay out of trouble. And if you'd like to learn how to do that, go above or below, and you can actually click to set up a time to speak with me personally. I'll do the best I can to point you in the right direction on this. Talk to you soon.